You are now listening to Sir Ink's The Experience Podcast, where we talk about anything and everything kink. Now, this podcast is only catered to those that are 18 and above and may not be suitable for work, or as we like to say, NSF. But remember, you can always listen to us during your private time. Hello, kinky and kinkiers folk out there. My name is Sir Ink. What's good, everybody? Let's jump right into the topic. And I'm going to use a quote from Tomas Sowell, who is a African-American economist. He's an older guy now. He's probably in his 80s. But he coined a phrase that says, "There are no solutions, only trade-offs." And what does that mean? It means as you get older, and if you watching history in the making with the way the United States interacts with other countries and other countries operate with other countries, you will see that sometimes there's no solutions, there's only trade-offs. Even to war, sometimes there's an outright victor, and a lot of times there isn't, and then there's an agreement. You have to sit down and make a peace agreement where both sides sit down and agree to something. The solution is neither one of them really won or gained what they really wanted completely, so now they have to sit down and do a trade-off. And so a lot of that is like that in relationships. Sometimes there's no solutions for whatever's going on between you and someone else. There's trade-offs. And I spoke to a friend of mine, and I told her that, in her relationships, this, that, and other, and, a lot of the common stories we hear, basic relationship stuff. And I was saying to her, like, well, sometimes you just have to accept, people for who they are. But then you can always negotiate a better experience with that person with them. Like, you have the right to negotiate a better experience. Sometimes we want these basic things, and life sometimes, and for those individuals, it's more complicated than that. And a lot of times people have two things about this. Either they are reluctant to say exactly what it is, or they're too much of a coward to say it. Because the thing about being a coward, it sounds kind of harsh, but the thing about being a coward is you just don't want to hurt someone's feelings. But you're going to hurt their feelings anyway. It's not like you're scared to say what it is and you're not going to still do it. Like, you're still doing it and you're just scared to say what it is. I think that's cowardice. In the end, the person is going to find out. If someone's around you long enough, they figure you out. There's no really hiding who you are when you've been around someone for a long period of time. That's the thing about, I keep telling you all that 2-year rule, but, when you're around someone for a long time, you really can get a gauge for how they are. And then there's a lot of acceptance in that. There's trade-offs. There's nothing, in all my relationships that I've been in, there are things that I wish was better. And I'm sure that there are things that they wish I were better at as well, or I brought to the table, right? But we all took a little less, or we weren't as, we took it as a trade-off, because we're like, overall, this is a really good person, and no one's perfect. So the trade-off is, okay, can I really deal with that thing that I don't like about them, or the thing that they do? Can I tolerate that? Is that a deal breaker for me? So it's those things. But there are certain behavior patterns. Like, you can't help if you snore at night, right? That's just something like, oh my God, this person snores so loud, I can't even sleep in the same room. Okay, but can I still be with them if I can't sleep with them? Yeah, more than likely some people can, right? But then, wayward behavior is a little less acceptable, where people have bad patterns. Is example, I'm just gonna stop and get a drink. Or I'm gonna have a drink with my girls, or I'm gonna have a drink with my homies, and then next you know, they coming in a couple hours later, tipsy, not in the right state. But this is a pattern that they have. I'm going over Jill house, or I'm going over Steve house, and like, okay, I know when you go over there, you're gonna be a minute. All that one drink and I'm out, negative. We've all been around people having drinks and they're like, I'm supposed to leave like a half an hour ago. My girl, man, I'm supposed to go to Wawa. Come right back. I'm over here drinking with y'all. I was like, I get it. And those just little stuff like that is just something like, all right, this person, this is their routine. This is what they do. And is that a thing for me? Is that a deal breaker that they go and get with their friends and, they get caught up, get tipsy? I mean, unless we made plans, definite plans, I probably wouldn't be that, off about it. And plus, I like being to myself, so I'm a little different. But if you made plans, that's an issue, right? But other than that, you just have to take it as a trade-off. And a lot of trade-offs we're not comfortable with. And then that's where you have to negotiate a better outcome for yourself. Like, okay. If you're going to do that, and I don't like that, that completely goes against maybe the parameters that we even set up for our relationship. But I'm going to accept that that's who you are, and because I want to be with you, and I accept that's who you are. You're not going to change, but then I need this, and that was my conversation to my friend, that if things aren't going to be perfect, then what you should do is negotiate a better end of your relationship. That's what I think. You should negotiate better outcomes for yourself. Relationships, a lot of times people put the other person first. It's like, I love them. And then you put so much into the other person that you set them up for failure. It's not fair to put all your love and expectations on someone else in that way. In a way of like, well, I can change him or I can change her. Like, they're not going to continue to do that as long as they see that I love them and I'm the only one for them, and or I'm all they need. They don't need to go over Jim or Jill's house to have a drink. Like, I got everything for them. Like, I had a client who had a spa day for his wife and her girlfriends. He did everything. He cooked the grub. He massaged their feet. I'm like, yo, you really was doing the most. And eventually she left him. She left him, man. She was a big girl. She went and lost weight. And when she lost that weight, she dipped on him. And I was like, wow, he's a good dude. He was a good dude. But I could tell he was just doing too much placating, being too nice. Sometimes you gotta give people their space. Hey, listen, they had money. Hey, man, send her to the spa with her girlfriends. Pay for a spa day. That's what a man would do. Like, you can't. It's almost like, when you're in a barbershop and someone brings their wife in. It's like, we can be ourselves to a degree, but it just interrupts because men want to be courteous and gentlemen. So we're not going to say certain things in front of women, especially older women. But we don't say those things because, it's not polite to say those things. It's not polite to say those things. Even though sometimes, raw, open conversation can happen with women in the room, but it's not because we broke it in. Like, a woman may actually want to know the truth or want to know some honest opinions on something. And then that's when we can open it up for more raw conversation. But for the most part, people want to be respectable. And so I can only imagine that you having a spa day with your girls, and then the chick husband is supplying the party. Not only supplying the party, he working the party. And that doesn't allow that doesn't allow that group of friends to be themselves. That group of friends is now going to be tight. They're going to, give each other some eyes and say stuff, like kind of innuendos. You know how we do when we are amongst our friends, and we got that silent communication or that cadence that we all know what each other talking about. But, it's just inconvenient, and so, it's better just to go ahead and pay for her and her friends to go to have a spa day on you. Let them enjoy themselves. You go do something with yourself. Like, what are you doing? You don't have anything to do but do your wife's feet and her girlfriend's. I get doing your wife's feet, but you did her feet and everybody else's feet and made them drinks and food. Like, yo, you was really doing too much. And that's how you lose a woman sometimes. She was like, damn, her trade-off was he's smothering. And she didn't want to be smothered. Like, it's what it is. Sometimes you can smother somebody. And some people aren't with that. I can only imagine how a person is that would do that for their wife. They're probably on your phone worried, like, are you home yet? Are you okay? I mean, that kind of sweating you, which it seems like concern, but it's an insecurity that's major going on there that that person is acting out. And so if that's a trade-off you can deal with, great. And if it's not, oh boy, watch out. But what do you think? What do you think? I would like to know your comments. Please like and subscribe. And until next time, peace. You know how to find me, Sir INQ, on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. And you can always email me at sirinq09@gmail.com. Thank you for listening. Until next time, peace.